Good morning, students. So today I'll be starting a new unit, that is Unit 3, and this is the first chapter, Programming Methodology. So this chapter is about the structure of a program, how to build up a good program, and so on. Okay? So in the introduction part, using programming languages, different types of programs are written so user can communicate with the computer. Okay, so the programming languages, okay, are used to create programs for the users so that they can use the computers. Not only computers, different types of machines, gadgets, and so on. Now, the multiple programs are used to create user-friendly software packages. So these softwares, it is created for end users, that is naive users, non-programmers, who may not know how the packages are created, that is the software packages, and will not be able to, but they will be able to use the softwares. Okay, so mostly these programmers or these software packages are created for us users only because we are going to use them, right? And so it is created for us. Now most of the users, they do not need to know, they do not know how these softwares are created, right? What kind of programming languages is used, and they have no knowledge about programming languages at all. But it should be made user friendly in such a way that okay, they will be able to use the software. Okay, now different stages of developing a program. So there are different steps involved while developing a program. So they are, okay, first one is defining the problem. Now these different stages, okay, if this is based on this, all the programs are created. So systematic ways of defining or building up the program, okay, be it any software packages, okay, it follows this construct. So the first one is defining the problem. So this is the first step towards creating a program. Okay, so the problem must be specified, defined. So here the task of the programmer is to find out what the user will want to do and how to make it user friendly with that software. Okay, so any programmer that creates a software, now if he creates a software, he is not he it's not that the programmer only is going to use it, right? So it has to be made profitable so that the user uh, will be able to use it. But if the user is going to use it, right, so how is the user going to use it and for what purpose, right? And how will the user want to use it? Okay, that is in terms of the that call as user friendliness. Okay, in terms of the appearance, okay, of the software. Not only that, okay, how to how easily the user can use that software. That is the first thing. Okay, because it is targeted on the naive users, the end users. So that is the first one, is defining the problem. Okay, now next is outlining a solution. So the software is built to do many tasks, and these tasks are split up into many modules. So a software is built up of composed of many programs. Just one program does not make software. Okay, so there are different types of programs, all interrelated. Okay, but they are split up into what is called as modules. Okay, so each module has its own task assigned, and each module will work on its own when called upon. Okay, however, they all must be integrated together. So each module may be assigned to different programmers. Okay, so like in a company, there are many programmers. Okay, they are all assigned different modules. So it has to be ensured that all the different modules can be integrated together. Okay, can be combined together to form that complete software packages. Okay, at the end result, okay, all those modules has to be connected together so that it can form a complete package. Okay, now representing algorithms. Okay, so before the actual work begins, that is the coding begins, okay, the programmer designs the details of the program and its solution using an algorithm. Okay, so like this is algorithm is in the next chapter. Okay, so algorithm is something like, okay, every programmers, uh, programmers, they used to write down the program code, okay, in simple English language, like infinite number of steps. So they get the idea about what the coding will look like. Okay, so this is written in a simple English language, infinite number of steps, like that. So this is done before the actual coding begins. Now, number four you have is coding. So once the algorithm is finalized, the next step is to begin coding the source code. So by using a programming language. So this is where the real coding starts. It depends on the programmer what type of programming language will be used and what type of to create that interface. Okay. Now debugging. So next step is to find out the errors in the program and correct those errors. Okay? So programmer, they have to create an alternate solution for inevitable errors that may also arise in the program. So now after the coding has been done, okay, they will start debugging. That means try to trace out the errors that are there in the program. So they, since programmers are also humans, they are prone to make mistakes, right? So uh, before finalizing, okay, they will search for all the errors, and not only those errors but also, okay, inevitable errors. That means like unwanted errors or unexpected errors that may arise. So for such uh, cases, okay, they should be able to find an alternative solution for such inevitable errors. Okay, so this task is the most time consuming for the programmers. All right. Now next is testing. So this is the most important step in program development. Okay. Once the program is built, testing of the software, it is done to ensure that no errors will be generated, okay, and that it produce correct results, and to give proper error message upon entry of wrong data. Okay. Now this is the job of a tester. Okay, a different type of programmer. Okay, a tester. So he or she will make after the product, okay, gets built up, okay, he or she will check it, the program, okay, the software, and then check whether, okay, is there any errors or is there any errors that has been missed out, okay, will be able to catch out, okay, or suppose like is the software user friendly, okay, uh, suppose like there are some buttons or text box in the software, right? So is it right at the right position, okay, are the color combinations proper? All those things is done during the testing period. Okay. Now after that is done, the next is program maintenance. So program needs to be updated and should not become outdated. So for that purpose, modification of the program by the programmer is essential. So this is also very much important. The program should be documented clearly and easy for other programmers to understand that and make necessary changes. Okay. Now once the software gets once the software is created, okay, it is not that after it's created, okay, that it will be used like in that condition. Now a software cannot remain static, okay, based on the hardware configuration of the computer, okay, because the hardware configuration also keeps on upgrading, right? And not only that, based on that, the operating system also keeps on upgrading, other softwares also keeps on upgrading, system softwares as such, right? So as the system software keeps on changing, the application software also needs to change, the software package also needs to change, otherwise it will not become compatible, right? And hence user may not want to use the software, right? So like example like Windows XP has become obsolete, outdated, right? Like Windows 7. So now people are using Windows 8, Windows 10, right? And say example like MS Office 2003. Now nobody used 2003. uh, People use now, everyone is using 2013 or like 2010, or some are using 2007 as such, right? So proper maintenance should be done for that softwares. Okay. What are the characteristics of a good program? So the characteristics of creating a good program are: number one is accuracy. So this is the main characteristics of a good program: to process and always produce correct results, and for that the program logic must be correct. So in order to ensure that it always produce the correct results, okay, the program logic, that is the formula that is applied on that particular software, should be correct. If suppose it is about uh, sum of two numbers, right, the program logic for that sum of two numbers should be correct. Otherwise it may give a different output, maybe like minus, multiplication, and so on, right? Now, clarity. So clarity means easy understandability of the program. So the program logic should be clearly written and easy to be read for another program. That means the readability of the source code or the program should be uh, understandable enough for other programmers also. Okay, so that uh, any modifications to be done can be done easily. Next is efficiency. So this is concerned with how fast a program can execute and effectively utilizing the memory, right? Then modularity. So we have come across modular concepts also. So modularity in sorts like modular programming. Okay. So complex and large programs, this is broken into many small modules. So when we have a very large program, okay, complex program, okay, what we do is that we split that program, divide that program into small programs, or you can say as modules, okay. So each program is independent on its own, it can work on its own. However, okay, the each program, okay, can be linked together to form that complex program. So these modules are a series of individual tasks which improves the accuracy and efficiency of the program. For example, suppose like a calculator program. Now, addition can be done, addition program can be kept separate, subtraction can be kept separate, multiplication can be kept separate, and division also program can be kept separate. So a calculator program can be split into four programs. However, when you need to do addition and subtraction at the same time, those two programs can be combined, can be called upon, so that you can do addition at the same time. After that you can do subtraction. Okay, so that is the concept of modularity, which you shall learn more in the following chapters. Okay, now user friendliness. The program must be made user friendly for users who are using the software. Reliable. So the program must not crash or give incorrect results or of wrong inputs which are entered by the user. It should be able to handle such situations. Okay. So not only is the accuracy, but thing is that uh, it should not crash at any time, or it should not. The program logic should be such correct that no incorrect results. Okay. Uh, when you enter the wrong input, data should be given. So even when the wrong input data is entered, okay, an appropriate result or an error message must be shown to the user. So such kind of situation, if it arises, it should be able to handle. So that is the case of reliability. Now portability. So the program must be able to run on multiple platforms. So it should be compatible. So the software package, it is not that it should be run only on Windows 7, right? It should be able to run on Windows 8, it should be able to run on Windows 10, it should be able to run on Linux, it should be able to run on, say, like different types of operating systems. All right, so that is what builds up a good program. So that is the characteristics of a good program. Okay, so go through these topics, okay, and try to understand each topic one by one. Okay, so that will be all for today.